In this video, I'm going to show you how to construct an arched bridge out of cardboard and to texture it with egg cartons to look like real stone. Here I am folding the cardboard strip so that it will curve over my arch. I am using ordinary cardboard boxes. To strengthen the sides, I am doubling up the cardboard layers, so I trace my arch pattern to cut out and glue together using tacky glue. With the arches prepared, I begin assembly using hot glue because hot glue sets quickly. I want my bridge to be strong and solid, so I'm cutting ribs to run across the width of the bridge along the whole length. I hot glued them in place. Next, I add a third layer to the bed of my bridge and glue it in place. I felt the arch was a bit steep, so I decided to add a ramp to take out some of the steepness. I marked the level I want the ramp at, then I cut more ribs to fit the space. Each one is a different width to meet the line that I marked. Now I can glue on the ramp, which extends outside the bridge, forming what will become the start of a path. Now, as you can see, there is a gap from the doorway to the bridge. I need to build a ramp for that side as well. It will fit just inside the door, where later will be glued down. I felt it would be easier to construct and paint the bridge entirely separate before attaching it to my castle. I checked the fit of everything before gluing in place. For this ramp, I'm using tacky glue, but only on the part that is on the bridge arch. I have to hold it and wait for the glue to set. Working on the lower side of the bridge that will be up against the building once it's attached, I need to add more ribs so I can add a flat top. I number the ribs because each one is a different width. Then I top it with another piece of cardboard. You can see I have some play in this ramp. I need to add some thickness to the ramp, so I start by adding sides that are 2 layers thick and hot glue them in place. The flexibility assures that I'll be able to make it match up to the entrance of my castle exactly. I add more ribs to this section as well. First, I make my pattern. Once I have a good fit, I use a pattern to cut several ribs. I place the ribs about a ½ inch apart. I haven't lost my flexibility. Now it's time to test it. I mark the sides where it needs to be attached. Then glue the ramp in place. Now it no longer is flexible because I know I have the right fit. I use a clamp to hold it while the glue sets. When I want a quick join, I use hot glue, but when I want a solid join, I use tacky glue. Notice the sides fit just outside the doorway arch. They are cut to contour around the shape of the front of the castle. Now I need to add layers to make the sides line up with the rest of the bridge. Using clips, I can hold everything in place to check its fit and to make any adjustments necessary before I glue everything together. Let me note, if you use clamps, be sure you don't tighten too much because we are working with cardboard, which is crushable. I found that I needed to make an adjustment on this one side. So here is a patch job done with layers of paper to smooth off the side, filling in the dent. Nobody will see it when it's all covered up in paper and stones. Now on the top sides of my bridge, it's time to hide the ugly raw edges of the corrugated cardboard. I'm using strips of brown paper. You can get them from paper grocery sacks, or you can buy a roll of packaging paper at Walmart. I had a stack of paper scraps from my card making supplies, so I used them. I'd used that paper for making Christmas cards a couple years ago, and I didn't have any further plans for that paper, so I put them into my castle project. I pre-fold the strips before gluing them in place. When going around a curve, you have to clip the one side every so often, like every half inch or so that your paper will lay flat. That is something I learned from my sewing and construction of garments. This helps give a much cleaner edge to the bridge. One more note about glues. I don't trust hot glue as a strong bond because you can pull things apart later. So when I'm covering everything with paper, crossing over seams from one piece of cardboard to another, I use tacky glue, which is a stronger bond. This is what is really holding everything all together, paper and glue. You may see it as unnecessary layers, but I see it as making my construction much stronger. Before I'm done, all the exposed raw edges will be covered, except for the parts that will be glued in place and not seen by the eye. So I use a lot of brown paper for this purpose. Besides, it just makes everything look so much better with a smooth edge. Observe that I have two types of scissors, large for the big cuts and small for the detail cuts. I also use a lot of tacky glue. I realized that I need to add a layer of tag board to the underside before going around the edges of the underside of the bridge. Oops, caught that in time. Tag board has a smooth surface, so I save all tag board. They're usually in the back of pads of art papers, drawing paper, watercolor pads, and other paper supplies. They are thinner than corrugated cardboard, and when cut, they have smooth edges. It's a great crafting supply when you need strength and you desire smoothness. Now I can finish covering the raw edges. See how much nicer that looks when it's all covered. Now, time for the rocks and stones. I use egg cartons because I like its texture. You can cut them into any shape you desire. Bricks, stones, or squares. I had some large bricks already cut out, which I had used on the castle. I cut them down to size for large granite stones to line the edge of my bridge. Working around the curve, you may need to angle the sides slightly for a good fit. Really, you can design your bridge however you want. I'm kind of partial to stones, and I saw a bridge I liked, so I'm copying its design. Square stones on the outer edges and regular stones making up the inside. There are many ways to make stones. You can take random scraps and just roll the outside edges under with a little glue and make rocks. Any old scrap will do. Some of these pieces were scraps for when I made my own bricks. The cut-off edges were rough textured, so all I needed to do was trim the sides and glue them on. They really looked like real rocks. Did you ever make spitballs in school? I didn't, because I think that is gross. But I taught a school for a while, and the junior high boys make spitballs a lot. I would find them everywhere. Gross. Well, making tiny rocks is kind of like making spitballs, but instead of using spit, I'm using glue. I hope I haven't grossed you out at that thought. Now it's time to finish the uppermost top of the bridge. To continue the square granite stones, I cut a piece matching the width of the side piece so that it will look like one stone forming the top of the bridge. I cut long strips from the egg cartons and then tear off. I try to match up the size of the stones. What I forgot to film is the square stones that I placed on the path of the bridge, also cut from egg cartons. I continue the square stones on the insides of the bridge walls as well, and then finished off with smaller stones using the spitball technique. Painting the bridge was easy, with the texture already present. You can paint your bridge whatever colors you choose. Use darks on the underside of the rocks and light colors on the upper sides of the rocks. If you glaze a light color paint over dark painted rocks, the rough texture will stand out. I did not record the painting of my bridge because, honestly, I wasn't sure that what I was doing was the best way at the time. When my entire castle project is done, I plan to varnish the whole thing to solidify and harden the exterior for endurance, because I'm making this castle set as a gift for my grandchildren to play with. My next video will be the final reveal of my huge castle project that I have been working on for 4 weeks. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you have suggestions of what you think I might build next, leave them in the comments below. Subscribe so you don't miss the premiere of the castle project. Thanks for watching.